everyone. Welcome to Recharging with Champions. I am your host, Charlotte Harrell, and I am joined today by Mr. Jeff Verry, who's one of our very own coaches here at Atlantic Bay. And when we were talking about marketing and branding, he had some really, really good coach material that goes right along with marketing and branding. So, Jeff, first, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you become a coach? What does that look like?
Absolutely, Charlotte. So I've been in the industry for, well, actually for coaching, I got to go back to, I've got four kids and, two bonus kids, two natural kids. And, I was always a coach in, t-ball, soccer, basketball, all that stuff till they got past the point where I could add value.
Right?
And then, when in the corporate world, I got into this business 20 years ago in about 3 days, somewhere right in there. Actually, it might be 2 days when we're recording this. And I would tell you one of my favorite things to do was always do performance reviews, annual reviews, and really just sit there and kind of dream, blue sky it. And did a couple of roles after that within the company. And then Brian Holland, our CEO, said, "Hey, are you interested in mentoring and coaching?" And I said, "Well, you're asking. Sounds like a good idea."
Right.
And got involved in it, created it. Absolutely love it. Found my passion. So
I think it's
this is
hilarious that
what
your
I love doing.
favorite thing was doing the quarterly and annual
Hmm.
reviews. Those are not my favorite thing. So there must be a special thing. There must be something special when it comes to being a coach that is drawn to that. That's
There
awesome.
you go.
Well, Jeff, this
Yep.
podcast is all about marketing and branding.
Awesome.
And I know that you have helped many mortgage bankers within the company really work on their marketing and branding, but more as a getting it done. So obviously we have so many hats that we have to wear that you really have to find the balancing, and that's what you really help them with. So what
Absolutely.
is the number one thing that people come to you when they're looking to do their branding and their marketing? What do they need help with?
Time management.
Right.
And I can say that across all coaching, across all people, across all industries, the number one thing is time management. It is the thing that people struggle with because so many people have so many ideas and they don't have the time to fit it in, or at
Right.
least they don't think they do.
Right.
And that's, we make time to do the things that's important that's important to us, but making time at work is a different strategy.
Right. And you said, you might have the creative ideas, you just don't have time to do it. Sometimes it's just
Yeah,
a matter of taking time to sit back and let yourself have some creative ideas. That's huge,
absolutely.
right? You've got to take the time to know what you need to be going towards. That's great. So
Absolutely.
give us some help. Where do we start?
I
We have the time management issue, which, man, I'll tell you, can I just tell us a quick story?
Yeah.
I have started this podcast, and when starting this podcast, I don't have an editor. I don't have a content provider. I am all in one. I wear all of those hats. And
Bless you.
I can tell you that time management with someone you're taking on something like that is huge. So I cannot wait to learn some
Hmm.
amazing time management skills when it comes to doing this stuff.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, one of the things that I'll touch on, and probably this is like how I like to start into the time management thing at all times, is a tomato sauce.
Okay.
It's the Pomodoro sauce. And, they say that the perfect tomato sauce, Pomodoro sauce, can be made in exactly 25 minutes at the right temp, at the right time, not rushing it, not speeding it up, not slowing it down. It takes about 25 minutes to make the perfect sauce. And coincidentally, they have found that any human being on average can take 25 minutes to single task on any one thing, or time block 25 minutes of really a big deep dive. And so what I like to suggest is that, people actually go out and get a kitchen timer. And I wish I had one on me right now, but one that's not connected to your phone that rings, pings, dings, and all those other things. That is literally just a timer that goes on your desk that you can set for 25 minutes and start it. and then just focus on you, focus on your business, focus on growing yourself, focus on your marketing, focus on the things that you know you need to do that you can't get to that will help you get to the next level.
And you said something there, and I think I know the why, but tell me why not my phone?
Yeah, because your phone does too many other things.
Distraction 101, all the squirrels.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if you can get away with it, I almost recommend that the people take their phone and put it on the other side of the room or put it in another room or give it to your assistant or give it to your, a pet of yours if they're not going to ruin it. Anything you can to get away from it. You're talking about an hour. So, when you talk about taking an hour for your business, I can tell you anybody who's listening to this, anybody who's watching this, like you're important enough to be able to dedicate an hour of your day every day to yourself, to building you.
Right.
And not only does it help you, but it helps everybody else who depends on you,
Oh, yeah.
everybody who counts on you, all your clients, all your coworkers, all your referral partners, all, anybody, your family. When you can dedicate time to working on your business, it allows you to grow for all those other people who depend on you.
So,
So
so
I'd like to ask if people can take an hour, and I'm going to use something a little bit grim and gloomy, right? But could you take an hour to sit through a funeral and not be distracted and not, check your phone or not answer your phone or not check your email? And if the answer to that is yes, then take this hour and basically do the same thing. Don't let yourself be distracted for anything other than you would be distracted in a funeral for.
if any of the listeners out there had the same hesitation with that answer as I did,
Yeah.
we have problems. I'm sitting there thinking, I mean, an hour for a funeral, that's a little long,
Yeah.
right? That's horrible. But that is that
Yeah.
we are in, we brought this up before, we're in this hurry sickness, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring it back. You said an hour, but
Okay.
you're talking like 25 minutes,
Yes.
take a
Yeah.
break, and then 25
Absolutely.
minutes. Okay.
So the way I like to do this is, and thank you, Charlotte, for keeping me on track on that, right? So I said an hour because I think that you're important enough to take an hour. But if we follow that Pomodoro technique, it's 25 minutes at a time. So 25 minutes deep dive, and really only allow yourself to focus on one thing at a time. And then go to the next thing. When you get that done, go to the next thing and then go to the next thing. So when the timer goes off at 25 minutes, unless you're in the zone and you have the time to keep on going, if you're in the zone, you have the time to keep on going, right? But otherwise, get up,
Right.
and take 5 minutes and go decompress. Go outside, walk around barefoot. I'm into this whole new grounding thing. I'm just starting into it, and I really like the whole concept. So
Okay.
I have to throw that out there. But and if you don't know what that is, check it out, Google it. It's pretty cool. But go pet an animal, hug one of your family members, go grab a coffee, grab a water, whatever. And then go back and set another 25-minute timer and do that same deep dive again. And then at the end of that, take 5 minutes and decompress and then go on with your day.
So
But
I
the,
have just that thought of
yeah,
taking that much time. I'm not gonna lie. Like
yeah,
I'm trying to think what that would look like. That gives me a little bit of anxiety just thinking about it.
yep.
Walk me into it. Give me baby steps.
So let me talk about one topic too that I don't usually talk about when I talk about this. But my wife will tell you that, Shelley, she will tell you I am undiagnosed ADHD, and I know that, right? So most people that are ADHD are like, well, I can't do that. I can't focus on one thing. I can't take that time to dedicate to this, right? But that's actually incorrect because with ADHD, you get a superpower, and that's the ability to hyper focus.
Yeah.
So when you have this clock, when you have this timer on your desk and you put everything else aside, it's magical what it allows you to do from a hyper focusing standpoint. Now, what do you work on? You work on all those things that you know that you need to do that you don't have time to do. Like, let's say that one of those things is you need to, this is marketing, right? So, one of those things is you don't have a Google business page. Well, where do you start? How do you do it? Take time, just jump into those baby steps. Take that 25 minutes to let yourself explore, to learn, to go out there and Google, how to start a Google business page. I can guarantee you the results will come up and it will walk you through step by step. Have a Google business page, but don't have a YouTube channel. Same thing. Google how to start a YouTube channel. It takes 10 minutes to watch a video and you can create
Really
one.
what we did. Yeah, right. I
It's
was like, I
that
can start a
quick.
podcast. How do I do that? Let's Google it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Weirdly enough,
Fill in the
people have
blanks.
actually done podcasts on how to make podcasts. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
So
Most
you
people aren't as, daring to just jump in and just do it.
just
And,
do it. Yeah.
they use all those things that scare them about it as the excuses not to do it. So if you can dedicate the hour of 50 minutes of deep dive time every morning to working on you for the purpose of helping everybody who counts on you, and you can use your, if you have that superpower of hyper focusing, you can use that. Even if you don't have that superpower, this 25-minute thing works. If you take the time to allow yourself to be able to explore and learn new things, you'll be amazed at how much you can get done in weeks and months.
It's funny that you say that because, Jeff, I'll tell you that I haven't practiced Pomodoro sauce, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Mhm.
But my team all knows that they're in trouble when I get on an airplane.
Okay, good.
Right. So think about
Yeah.
that. So when I have a long flight, not for the short flights, because I don't typically like decompress, but if I know
Yeah.
I've got a 3 or a 4 hour flight in front of me, I
Love
get
it.
giddy excited because that is my, like, I'm not going to be on my phone during this time. Right.
Yeah.
Even if you pay for it, it's slow and it'll make you want to poke your eyeball out.
Absolutely.
So I get on this plane and every single time I get in, I just get my notebook out. So I have my little remarkable, Jeff and I are both remarkable.
Yeah.
I get my little remarkable out, pen to paper, and I just normally I've learned to be excited and I know what I'm going to think about while I'm on the plane, but I just take that time to focus in on my marketing. So the YouTube channel was like this idea. So I get on this plane and I'm like, I'm going to do this YouTube channel. So I wrote down, what do I need to do to create a YouTube channel? I need to learn how to make a YouTube channel. I need to know how to broadcast it out on podcasts. Right? I just literally wrote it down and then I'm like, I need content. So I spent that airplane time doing my content. And my team has learned that if I go on a flight, they're always going to come back with me having all these ideas that we need to do and how we're going to implement them. And I do have a
That's
pretty
awesome.
quick go button. So if I spend that time on the airplane and get that done, I move mountains. You're exactly
That's
right.
awesome.
Just that time moves mountains. So if I just implemented that on a daily or maybe even 3 times a week scale,
Yeah.
think about the mountains we could move. It'd be amazing.
It's recreate that same thing. Like
Right.
literally pretend you're on a plane.
That's
Pretend
it.
you're on a plane.
Airplane mode is a thing on your phone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it absolutely
And
it's a
you can turn
scary.
it on.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I love just the excuse, but having that time and really putting it away is good. And I do
Absolutely.
think there is something it would work for all kinds of tasks, right? Like I'm hearing
Everything.
you and if I need to work on loans or if I'm a realtor and I need to work on a contract, setting that
Absolutely.
time aside is good. But I think there's just a little something extra when it comes to things like marketing and branding, because
Yeah.
most people, if you're like me and most of the people I work with, we all want to do that. But at the end of the day, our clients come first. So
Yeah.
we're going to fit time in our day to work on that contract or to get
Yeah.
the credit pulled and work up the actual transaction, right? We're going to make that happen. We're going to put
Absolutely.
out the fires that come to us, but really taking that time to do the really important thing of doing some branding. I mean, we did a podcast earlier this week and we were talking about knowing your core value buckets that you need to do your marketing to. That
Awesome.
takes that takes some quiet time, right? That takes
Yes, it
literally
does.
sitting down and settling your brain so you can think about stuff like that. So I think this is so perfect specifically for the marketing and the branding and the business development side of your business
You got it.
that you just don't really dive into enough.
Well,
Right.
and one of my favorite phrases is that work will expand to the time allotted.
Mm,
And when you're talking about putting in something like this Pomodoro technique and taking an hour of your day to focus on you and growing your business or your marketing or whatever you want to put in there, right?
right.
Maybe it's working out, because it's so important for you. I don't care, but when you talk about that, all you're talking about is you're going to reduce the amount of your workday by 1 hour.
Right.
Work's
Right.
still going to expand to accommodate that time. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you give it 8 hours or if you give it 18 hours, it will expand to accommodate that time, especially in this business, in sales, real estate, market,
Yeah,
mortgage, whatever. It will expand to accommodate that time.
I
So
can do that in
that's
4 hours.
why I really like this Pomodoro technique, because it forces you to take time for yourself and to learn and to open up those creative juice moments, to be able to really learn something new, to do something new, to try something new.
I love it. And I just had this vision that what you just said gave me this analogy. So if you've ever had a turtle, did you ever have a pet turtle?
I did not have a pet turtle, but we have plenty of them on the road out here.
Right? Right. Well, the way turtles work is a turtle, when they're like ittle bitty, and if you put them in a
Yep.
small tank, if the only space you give them is a small tank, they're going to stay itty bitty for
Oh
their
yeah.
50 to 60 years, sometimes longer, guys. Be careful when you're getting a
Oh,
pet turtle.
goodness gracious.
But if you give it a bigger case, a bigger tank, then that turtle will grow to the size of its tank. And if you put it in a
That's
pond, then
awesome.
you get them big, right? So I'm thinking, okay, so if I am this turtle and I want my business to grow, I'm only going to grow by the space that you're giving me for business development, branding, and
Yeah,
marketing. So I better
absolutely.
give myself some space. So maybe we start with an hour, but hot darn, we might get to 2 hours if we really want to get
There you go.
special, right?
There you go. Now we're talking.
Get on an airplane, get 3 hours then. I love it. Well, I think this is super crucial to everyone's business. I
Absolutely.
just, I don't see, have you seen someone take their business from here to here just by implementing just that 25 to an hour, 25
Okay.
minutes?
So absolutely, I've seen it over and over again. But let me give you my favorite success story. So my favorite success story just happened within the last couple of months. I started coaching somebody new about 4 or 5 months ago, and I gave them this Pomodoro technique, and gave some suggestions of things that we worked on, things to come up with that they wanted to work on during this time, and they implemented it. And I always ask people, when you implement this, I want you to track how much time you give it, and I want you to put down the words associated with it, how you're feeling. And I've got broad shoulders. If somebody wants to tell me that it's horrible and they can't stand it and it's the worst thing in the world, go ahead. I'm fine. Like, that's your experience. I'm not going to tell you what your experience is going to be, but I haven't seen that yet. So this person wrote down the words over the 2 weeks I asked them to work on this. They did it 14 times, and they had this list of words that they read off to me when they were done. And I tell you, I kid you not, like, they were in tears. I was almost in tears. Like, the words that they used were freeing,
Mm,
on, on, oh my goodness, I can't even think of the words right now. I actually asked them to snap a picture and send it to me, because I'm going to
yeah,
use it as an advertisement anytime somebody's like, hey, why should I do this? I'm like, these words right
these
here. This
words.
is what
All
somebody
everything good
experienced,
came
right?
from this,
They
right?
were
Yeah.
all great. They were
Yeah.
all great. And not only did that happen, but they also were able to find things that, out of that experience, they started taking time and dedicating it to each of their family members as well. So not only did they dedicate an hour a day to their business and working on their business, they started dedicating 45 minutes dedicated time to each one of their family members per week.
That's awesome.
That's awesome,
Talk
because the
about
things
life
that come
changing,
out
right?
of that are huge.
Yeah. You're not
Huge.
just changing your life anymore. Now you're changing
Yeah,
the lives of those around you.
not at all.
That's it. I'm
Love it.
excited. I can't wait. I'm going to go do some Pomodoro sauce.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Thank you again for joining us. You are a pleasure. I do have
My
two
pleasure.
questions. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay, let's do it. This should be
These are
fun.
my two questions.
Awesome.
What is your very favorite tech tool for marketing, branding? It could be even time management. What's your favorite tech tool that you would recommend for somebody?
Okay, well, you know this one because we've had this conversation a lot, right? Mine is the Remarkable,
Great.
and I couldn't live without this, honestly. It
Right.
is. I know it's expensive, but it is a virtual notepad, and I was one of those guys, especially as a coach. I have a lot of meetings every day, and I was burning through notepads,
Right.
and this has changed my life in ways that I can't even express.
And I
My
will tell you,
entire life is in this thing for the
that's
last two and a
it.
half years.
It's got everything. And I will tell you that from somebody that does not use notepads, I had an
Yep.
iPad, right? So I'm the digital girl.
Yep.
But the digital problem is on your iPad, even if you turn everything else, there's too
Yeah.
many distractions. So
Yep.
I still have my iPad when I need the distractions. But
Yep.
that Remarkable is fantastic because
I
it's
love it.
just A digital notebook. That's it. It's just organizing your digital notebook. That's a good one. All right, your second
Absolutely.
question. This is going to be a
Okay.
tougher one. You can take your time. I can cut out the extra time if we need it.
All right.
This is a
What you
tough
got?
one. What's your favorite book of all time?
Oh, I got it right here.
Oh, that's
And
awesome. Look
honestly,
at you.
if I was in my office, I'd hold it up and
Okay.
show you. Um, The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino.
And Dino, yes. I should have known
Yeah.
that was going to be your answer.
It it is by far it's my book, right?
Yeah.
It is the book that I wish that I had wrote. And honestly, if Og was still alive, I would love to go, just shake his hand, give him a hug, and say thank you.
Thank you again for joining us. Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody,
Charlotte.
for joining Recharging with Champions. Stay tuned next week. Remember to like and subscribe. We'll see you soon.